I'm Hayden Lear. I'm 30 years old. I'm from the Midlands in the UK. For the last year or so, I've been on the run from the UK government, from the Italian mafia, and from Bolivian drug cartels. Hiding and surviving out here, somewhere in Europe.
Back in 2012 I was working for an investment banking company in London, and a bloke that worked in the company but in another department, we knew that there was a lot of fraudulent activity going on in the company and he wanted to get in on it. I was a bit confused initially why he'd come to me, so I asked him and he said that I looked bored, or the most bored out of the people that I was working with, which was true. In the space of about 2 years, we funneled about 6 million out to a fake company out in Bolivia. 2 years down the line, we went out to Bolivia, and it was fucking brilliant. We lived like kings, and the beauty of it was we weren't spending any of our own money, it was the client's money. The second time we went out was when we started to have issues. We got a call from back in London telling us that there was a major investigation going on and that we needed to go back. Now, I shat myself, but Kieran was less worried. There was fraudulent stuff going on throughout the company, and one of the reasons why Kieran wasn't too worried in the first place was that we'd got shit on loads of different people. So we didn't really think that we were that vulnerable, because even the people that would have been investigating us or were investigating us, we knew that we got shit on them. Kieran got on the plane and I decided against it. Like last minute I completely bottled it, but Kieran told me to sit tight, or just to wait for him to be in touch. A couple of days later the contact did come, but it wasn't from Kieran. A bloke from work told me that Kieran had jumped in front of a train. That guy was not suicidal. Kieran did not kill himself. I was fucked basically by this point. I was paranoid, I was shitting myself. I decided that I needed to get away from Bolivia, or get out of Bolivia, so I headed for the border, intending on going to Peru. When I gave them my passport, they started asking questions. In hindsight, probably the usual questions, but my paranoia was through the fucking roof. I bottled it, I ran. Stupid idea, because if I thought I was fucked before, I was even more fucked now, because I was in the same position, but without a passport. I had made some contacts whilst I was out there. It wasn't like I'd got nobody to reach out to when I thought about it. One of them, he told me that he could sort me out with a fake passport. It would cost the equivalent of about £5,000. Now, I hadn't got access to that anymore. I was broke, my accounts were frozen, I'd hardly got any cash on me whatsoever, and I didn't know where I was going to get £5 from. So they offered me an alternative, because I didn't have the £5 for the fake passport. They said that I could do a job for them, and with the job would come the passport for free. The plan was to smuggle 16 kilos of coke from where we were over into Italy. The coke was going to be put inside the frame of a mountain bike, and that was what I was going to go over with, and then bring the cash back. It worked. I remember so clearly getting into Rome, into the city centre, got myself a beer, sat down, and fucking hell, it was the best beer that I've ever tasted. The plan was to meet the contact that night in Rome, let him take the bike, hang around in Italy for a month, and then head back to La Paz. Bearing in mind this is the first day that I was in Italy, on the way to meet the contact, the bike got nicked. The little fucks probably weren't any older than 16, but there was fucking loads of them. The hilarity and the bizarreness of the last 4 years just caught up on me. I watched them go. I went straight back to the bar that I'd come from and got another beer, sat down, started drinking it, and I was still pissing myself. Like, the idea that there's a 16-year-old riding round in Rome on a bike worth £500,000 and he's got no fucking idea. As tragic as it was to me at the time, it made me laugh then, and it still makes me laugh now. As quick as the laughter and the hilarity of the situation come on, it fucked off again straight away, because I realised that I'd just lost £500,000 that belonged to the Bolivian cartel, and the Italian mafia basically were expecting it, and I did not have it anymore. I bolted. I wanted to get away from Rome as quick as I could. So I did. I got out of the city centre. I started to sort of formulate a vague plan, which was to hitchhike as far into Europe as I could, away from there. I actually got picked up by a couple on the road pretty quickly, and I owe so much to them. I probably owe my life to them. I basically told them the whole story, and it like, as soon as I started telling them a little bit, I just carried on. It felt good to get it all out. I hadn't really been able to speak to anyone about it since I'd heard about Kieran. They told me of their plan and where they were going to go, which was to a very remote place in a certain country. So I went with them, and I stayed with them for a little while, no longer with them, and since then this is where I've been, hiding out somewhere in Europe. It's a pretty nice area. It's open space-wise, but covered for when it rains and that. I stay pretty dry. Clean water and fresh garlic, like wild garlic, all up here. I love garlic. Yeah, of course, like, I would like to go back to the UK at some point. I miss the people there, but I just don't think it's feasible, and not in the next few years anyway. Can you hear that? Wolves. They tend to keep themselves to themselves, really. I've never had any issues with wolves. Bears, though, I had my old camp down there, and I'd caught a rabbit once, and I seen a brown bear coming towards me. I thought, it's me or the rabbit. I chucked the bear the rabbit, it started eating it, and once it had finished it, which didn't take long, it fell asleep. I fucking bolted, and that was my only running. Like, I've not had any issues with bears since. Where was it? Oh yeah, yeah, of course I'd like to go back to the UK, but I love it out here as well. My diet's pretty good since I've been out here. Like, I was a big old boy when I first came out, like 15, 16 stone. But I started exercising, like, kind of out of boredom, kind of out of necessity to keep warm as well. And of course there was foods that I missed initially, but not now. Like, I get everything I need, really. It's basic, but it changes as the seasons go around, as the year goes round. And I'm definitely a lot fucking healthier than I was. Fish, rabbit, squirrel, different birds, mainly pigeon, berries, boiled nettles. I sort of delved into insects a little bit, but it's not worth it, and I didn't like it. So I've had a little route around in there, and the ground's pretty good actually, so I thought I could make myself a little bit of an allotment, grow some veggies and that for later on in the year. Come into my humble abode, or soon to be. There's a lot of shit and stuff that needs clearing out, like leaves. That's pretty dry actually, to use that for firewood. Once it's all dried out, I want to get rid of it. I want any of this barbed wire. I might sleep up there because it's raised off the ground. Sort the roof out because it's a bit holy at the moment. And yeah, once it's dried out in here and I've cleared everything out, when it comes to winter, this will be good to go, I reckon. I'm going to take you to what will be my toilet. Life of luxury, I'm going to have a toilet. You good? This won't be for shitting, just for pissing. Always shit in the woods. Don't shit too near to your house, but can I have a little piss? Privacy from the rain. Not that I piss sitting down, I usually piss standing up, so it's a little bit closer to civilization than I would like. Like, I think the nearest houses are about 10 miles that way, but my camp is 20 miles that way, so it's been a bit of a trek to get over here. I'm not in here yet because the weather's alright, but when the winter comes, like rain and the snow and that, it's not nice to sleep out into this. Just provides me with a little bit of shelter. So I've got to start the work soon and get going on this, ready to sleep in. The hitchhikers that pick me up, Rosie and Miguel, they still come and visit me from time to time. They just spend a few days at a time and help me out by bringing down some like absolute essentials, so like toothbrush, toothpaste, lighters, backy, like rolling stuff. Your absolute necessities from the shop, really. Olive oil as well, some bits and bobs for cooking. But they're good to me, man. Like I owe my life to them, but I owe a lot to them in general. They're good people, man. The day that Kieran came and asked me if I wanted to get involved, I instantly knew that my life was going to become mental. I didn't think it was going to be this mental, but I knew it was going to be mental. And yeah, he came to me because he said I looked bored, and I was. Well, we're not designed to like work 9 to 5 between four walls, like waiting at home for a pizza to be delivered to us for 12 fucking quid. It's like, it's all bullshit. We're not built for that. I had a good life, I had it all. I had the car, I had the house, I had the social life. In theory, life was good. But this is fucking better. This is fucking better.
Hola, espero que te encuentres bien. Tengo malas noticias. Rosie y yo fuimos a ver a Hayden, pero no podríamos encontrarle. Su campamento había sido destruido. Durante días hemos buscado, pero no estaba por ninguna parte. No sabemos qué hacer. Hasta pronto. Ojalá.